Welcome students, welcome to the second part of my video, Colonialism and the Marathas. Before I start with the video, it's a sincere request. If you like the video, please do like it. If you have not subscribed it, please do subscribe it. And also, share it with your friends if they are not aware of this video. And also ask them to subscribe. In the first part, we saw the Marathas with the Britishers and the Portuguese. Now we will see the Dutch and the Maratha Empire. It is evident that Dutch, they will come in contact with the Marathas. They established their factory at Vengurla in 1649, and the Dutch trade flourished there. However, the trade was affected adversely when Shivaji Maharaj attacked the place called Kudal. In 1665, Mughal governor of Surat asked help from the Dutch for fighting against the Maratha naval force. However, Dutch offered no help. Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj had allowed them to build factory at Dabhol, but for some reason it never functioned. The political relation between Dutch and the Marathas kept changing to suit the need of the time. The Dutch expected help from the Marathas to evacuate the British from Mumbai. The Marathas did not harm the Dutch factory when they ransacked Surat second time. Also during the Karnataka campaign, the Marathas ensured the safety of the Dutch factory and also issued them trade permits. For this favor, Dutch paid tribute to Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj. The Dutch factories at Porto Nova and Devanapattinam were left unarmed, or it was not destroyed by Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj. Now we will see how Shivaji Maharaj maintained good relation, or how he has maintained relation with French. 1668, French established the factory at Rajpur by seeking permission from Shivaji Maharaj. They supplied ammunition to Swarajya in return. The Marathas, remaining true to their friendly relation with French, left the factory unharmed during the second attack on Surat. In return, French paid a big tribute to them. In 1677, Francois Martin, the Governor General of Pondicherry, obtained permission for opening factory and assurance of its safety. Shivaji Maharaj was the great king. He was a supreme commander of the Marathas. Yes, his supremacy was established on the coast of Coromandel. Later, rivalry between the British and the French got extended to the colonies in India as well. They competed for the dominance on various Indian territories. Both began to interfere in the administration of the local kingdom. The French gained entry in the court of Nizam under the pretext of imparting military training. Ibrahim Khan Gardi, trained under the French, was hired by Sadashivrao Peshwa in the Maratha army as the chief of artillery. In the third battle of Panipat, Mahaji Shinde had observed Ibrahim Khan's skill. Inspired by it, he built a trained army with the help of de Bourgoin, a French military trainer, and also established well-equipped artillery. Backed by the trained army, Mahaji Shinde would establish Maratha power in North India. He was also successful in keeping British under control. Now we will see how Britishers, their interference with the Maratha Empire. Political reasons between Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj and the British began due to Afzal Khan's episode. The meeting between Maharaj and Afzal Khan. Dabol was conquered by Maratha army. At the time there was 3 ships. Afzal Khan unloading in Dabol port. On receiving the report of Afzal Khan's death, Muhammad Sharif, his representative in Dabol, took hold of the ships along with the wealth and the goods that fled to Rajpur. Fazal Khan, Afzal Khan's son, asked Abdul Karim, the Subedar of Rajpur, to upload the ships at Rajpur. The Maratha took advantage of the opportunity to attack Rajpur and conquered it. Abdul Karim, who had taken loan from the Britishers, he was unable to repay it. British seized all the 3 ships because he was supposed to pay up the loan. His 3 ships were seized, which were in Abdul Karim's charge. Of course, this was unacceptable for the Marathas. They asked British to return the ship. The British refused to do so. Hence, the Marathas, Velaji, a local agent of the British at Jaitapur, visited the Britishers. Philip Gifford, a British officer, visited the Maratha camp. Request to Walaji's release, but he was also detained there. Later, both of them were released. However, the incident strained the relation between Marathas and the Britishers. When Panala fort was under the siege laid by Adil Shah's army, Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj was trapped inside. Gifford and Velaji were supplying ammunition to Adil Shah's army. They were certain that there was no escape for Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj from the situation. However, Maharaj was successful in escaping from Panhala. Next year, the Marathas defeated the British in the Rajpur campaign. British officer Henry Randfall Taylor and Philip Gifford were arrested and imprisoned for 2 years. Lieutenant Stephen had met Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj on Raigad for obtaining permission for the British factory. Meeting between Sudaraji and Pilaji, the representatives of Shivaji Maharaj, was arranged, but negotiation in the meeting was not successful. Henry Oxenden, a British agent present in the coronation ceremony of Shivaji Maharaj, he obtained permission to open factories at Rajpur on 12th June 1674. When he was present over there for the ceremony, he tried to sign an agreement between the British and the Marathas on the following terms and conditions. 1. Issuing permission for British to trade in Swarajya. Not only issuing permission to trade, but also to make factories in Rajpur, Dabol, Chaul, Kalyan. the rights of the Marathas to levy 2.5 octroi on the British goods. So these were the conditions laid down, my dear students. Then Shivaji Maharaj prohibited the use of British coinage in Maratha dominance. He also refuted some of the conditions put by the British, such as British goods found afloat from the wrecked ship should be returned to them, and the Marathas should enter a treaty with Siddhi and Janjira. This clearly reveals his resolute policies of safeguarding Maratha sovereignty. In this time, Chhatrapati Shahu Maharaj, Nanasaheb Peshwa, took charge of the administration. The British could ensure this entry in political affairs of the Marathas, and the Nanasaheb on one occasion sought help from the British. Nanasaheb was succeeded by his son Madhav Rao Peshwa. However, Nanasaheb's younger brother Raghunath Rao wanted to become the Peshwa. Raghunath Rao took the help of the Britishers, and Raghunath Rao gave entry for the Britishers in the Maratha politics. In 1765, British took over the fort of Malwan after the death of Madhav Rao Peshwa. His younger brother Narayan Rao became the Peshwa. In his reign, the British tried to conquer Thane, Vasai, Vijayadurg, Ratnagiri. In northern India, Mughal Emperor was under the protection of Shinde Holkars. By this time, the British had to become active to get the custody of the Mughal Emperor and to reduce the power of Bhonsle's dynasty of Nagpur in Bengal. For Britishers to bring the region under Shasti Vasai to Konkan under their way, the priority for trading operations, so on. There was already planning was moving on in the direction. Raghunath Rao Peshwa was offered asylum by the British. The British army marched from Mumbai to Pune with Raghunath Rao's Peshwa in their escort. The British army and the Maratha army met at Talegaon near Pune and had a combat between them. The British army was defeated by the Marathas. A treaty was signed between the Marathas and the Britishers, which were known as Vadgaon Treaty. Later, Nala Fadnavis formed an alliance of the four-ruler, namely Peshwa, Bhonsle of Nagpur, Nizam and Hyder. However, British successfully persuaded the Nizam to break the alliance. All through these happenings, the British governor, Warren Hastings, had realized that if the British had to establish permanent rule in India, it is crucial to subdue Marathas. In the Battle of Karda, the Maratha army had a sweeping victory over Nizam. The British envoy was present in the Maratha camp could minutely observe the study of the military tactics of the Marathas. Later, with the help of the envoy, Lord Wellesley could defeat the Marathas. Nana Fadnavis died during this time, Peshwa Bajirao II. The relation between Holkar, Bajirao, Peshwa II had turned bitter. As a result, Yashwantrao Holkar attacked Pune. Bajirao II panicked and he went for help to the Britishers and he sought asylum. And the treaty was signed between British and the Peshwa, and that treaty was known as Treaty of Vasai. However, this treaty was not acceptable to Shinde and Holkar. Hence, another Anglo-Maratha war in 1803. The Marathas were defeated in this war. The third Anglo-Maratha war was fought in 1817. The Marathas were again defeated and the Maratha rule came to an end in 1818. Peshwa Bajirao was granted annual pension by the British. and he spent the rest of his life in Bitur near Kanpur. My dear students, I end this second part. I wish you all the best. Students, if you like the video, please do like it. If you have not subscribed it, please do subscribe it. And also, if the people are not aware of this video, please give the awareness by sharing the link. Thank you, and I wish you all the best.